rightly guided. So I will use this basic topic of actually realizing as to what to expect when we talk to people about message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and try to give them the guidance that comes to us from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's divine book and message and through his messengers. Realizing that not everyone that will be listening to us will be able to see the truth in it or will be able to get rightly guided, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has power over everything and he has actually planned it the way he has done, and he knows who will be rightly guided and who will not be. And here we are told specifically in this particular verse that it's not that you feel that you will be guiding somebody that you like and you feel that that person should be guided. You may try it, but it's in the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as to who will get the right guidance. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows who are the ones that will be rightly guided and who are the ones that will never be able to convert or see the truth. Now, once one realizes that, then it becomes fairly easy to approach people and take a kind of a attitude or approach or basic kind of a discourse with the individuals or the individual, realizing that not everyone is really entitled to get it. So just give the truth, do not necessarily argue or start to have some kind of a discourse that becomes unpleasant, or as if you are trying to more or less have a fight with each other, but rather explain the truth and then let Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take over as to who has to be guided and who is not. In other places in Al-Quran we are told that whenever you are faced with people that are jahil or ignorant and you realize that you're not getting anywhere, just try to avoid any further discourse and say Ulu Salama, say that okay and goodbye and then walk away. And that is what the approach should be, rather than being so aggressive and trying to feel that if you have not been able to convince the other person that is in front of you that you have somehow failed. You really have not failed, you have tried your best, and yet it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who gives the guidance. Now let me give you a few examples to make this clear to all of us. See, when our beloved Prophet was told that if you think you are a divine messenger, show us some sign, see if you can break the moon into two. And when our beloved Prophet pointed the finger and the moon split into two, they all saw it, and yet not many of them believed. Similarly, when Pharaoh was following the Israelites and Moses, and Moses was able to part the sea, and his people were walking with in the base of the river with the water on both sides. Pharaoh saw all of that this is not something that ordinarily happens, it's something miraculous, something that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do. Even with all that knowledge, he did not accept the faith and he was drowned. There are so many examples like that. Prophet Joseph also, when he gave youth to Zuleika, she became very young in front of so many these people of different faith. Even they, when they saw all of that right in front of their eyes, they were not convinced somehow or the other. Their hearts were so hardened that they did not receive that message, and they basically stayed non-believers. So all of that basically is right in front of us. There's so many obvious things that are only divinely possible happen, and people see all of that, and yet they are not really receiving the faith. Now, even in today's day and age, if one watches some of the real intellectuals that are born I know about South Asia, Pakistan and India, people that seem to have all scientific knowledge and should be able to understand things and realize that certain things are not possible humanly, yet with all that knowledge, they still have difficulty believing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists and that we will really wake up one day after we are buried and that we will have to be accountable to whatever we do in our lives. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has destined certain people not to be able to accept this message, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only knows the wisdom behind it. All we have to know is that how best to convey His message to His creation and how best to deliver that kind of a message in a way that is very appealing to them, very revealing to them, and tells them exactly as to what the truth is, and it's up to their hearts whether they take it in or they somehow or the other reject it. So it's not necessarily your failure, but it's the destiny of the people that are listening to you. So once we have that understanding, and once we approach people with that kind of a understanding, then it becomes very easy to deliver Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's message to people. And if those that are walking away from it, we have to understand that that is the way they are made out, and that is what that will happen to them eventually after they pass on. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the proper guidance, give us the understanding that this is something that we have to do regardless of the outcome that we see in front of us, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in charge of all of this. And in this particular verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly tells us that although you may like for this person to be guided, and because you like that person, yet realize that all guidance comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He knows who are the ones that will be rightly guided and who are those that will be difficult for you to convert, and you have to understand that and leave it at that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also give this message to our future generations and then generations after that, so that we have discharged our responsibilities as Khalifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth. We as human beings are vicegerents or Khalifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gets His work done through us, and we have to be ready and more or less prepared for it, so that we have discharged our responsibility. Jazakumullahu khair. Assalamu alaikum.